Hey there everyone, this is the Saigami project and my name is Andrea Otilia Vörös, aka Sunny, creator of the manga series Saigami, published and serialized in Saturday AM. If you are interested, you can read the first chapters of my manga series Saigami for free on the homepage, or you can purchase the first volume of the book in print or in digital format. In this tutorial, I'm gonna teach you my method on how to create characters. So let's get started. If a comic's backbone is the story, then the characters are the heart and the soul. They are the ones who will get in contact with the readers. Through their narration and views will the reader explore the world and the story we want to share. So the most important is to create our characters with elaboration. But how do we create characters from scratch? In my case, I work with two different methods. One, when we already have the story but lack the characters. So we create people perfectly fitting in our world. Second, when we made up the character but lack the story. So we create a whole world for them. Both of these methods are working for me, but obviously it depends on the comic which one I use. For long stories, you will be using method 1 more, maybe except for the main characters. In my long story Saigami, my main cast was brought over from my previous unwritten stories, so I held their personalities but made them fit into the story and the world. The rest of the characters are created with the main plot in my mind as well, so they serve like puzzle pieces for the whole image. Method 2 can be more effective when you try to come up with a completely new story or a short one-shot comic. In my most recent one-shot manga, Dreamwalker, it was the main character, Reynes Lear, who came first when I sketched him years ago in school in a notebook. All I knew was his name and the fact that he had narcolepsy. It took me several years to create a story for him, but I think it was absolutely worth it, as it became one of my strongest work. But regardless which method you work with, one thing is the key: elaboration. Again. They say your characters are the best when they live on their own, when you don't have to think about what they will do or say. It just comes to you naturally. And no matter how weird this sounds, it's the real thing. But it can only happen if you build up your characters well enough. In order to make your characters feel alive, you will need to think using their head and not your own. You don't want all of your characters to think and behave like you do. Otherwise, your cast will look like a clone army of you. What you need is unique personalities. But before jumping into bashing out the most unique characters ever, you need to place the characters in a sort of importance hierarchy. Again, it's my method, but I sort my characters in the following importance group: filler people, the crowd, the people on the streets, the people who only exist to make the world feel alive, because you can't have trees and animals everywhere. These guys don't need to have names, backstories, because their only purpose is solely to exist and to be there when you need them to be. But you still need to be careful with them as well. Their appearance and behavior needs to fit in the story and the scenes. If the place or the nation has a sort of fashion, folk appearance elements, hairstyles, symbols, etc., then make sure the crowd will look like that as well. Of course, you don't have to go crazy with these details, just make sure that the people are fitting in the whole picture. As for their behavior, they don't play major roles, but they still need to have reactions. You don't want them to be just puppets, but people who are living in your world. So, if something surprising or unexpected is happening, make them react. Don't overdo it, but give them proper reactions. Next group is the side characters. They are the people who already have roles, but not significantly important roles. They need to have a sort of personality set in order to have their place in the story. Depending on what roles they play, they can have names, status, even some background story. But what's most important is that every side character has to have a purpose for their actions, and they need to convey some kind of information that helps the flow of the story or the characters and gives the reader some kind of extra information. In their appearance, they don't need to stand out from the crowd, as long as their function doesn't require it. You only need as much information about them as much is necessary to fulfill their role, which can be smaller or bigger. Sometimes side characters can turn out more engaging to the creator or the readers, granting them returning appearances and more roles. Next group, important characters. They are the people who have effects on the story, be it the flow of the main events or the main characters themselves. Every important character steps in the story with purpose and major role to fulfill. Without them, the story wouldn't advance. You need to build them up with elaboration. Their name, their personalities, their backgrounds, goals, motivation, everything. They have to have appearance that stands out from the ordinary crowd. They they need to give off the feeling that they are important. Last group, the main characters. Like I said before, they are the heart and the soul of the comic. Without them, there is no story, but they also need a story to have their place. With a main character, you need to be considerate and reasoned, because everything they do and say is a new heartbeat of the story. It is very important to know and to show who they are, where do they come from, what happened to them, and more importantly, where are they heading to. It's a long and complex process, and always make sure to make place for character improvements. A deep, true, credible personality improvement is what makes characters impressive. Don't ever try to create perfect people. They will lose appeal really quickly. Make your characters be humans in every single aspect. Let them have flaws. Let them fail. This way, it will make easier for the reader to relate to them. And since they are the main characters, they need to stand out in some way. And more importantly, some reasonable way. And make sure you don't overdo it. I know I'm saying this a lot, but you don't want to overdo things. Building up main characters is like building up a whole city with building blocks, and every block is a delicate small detail of the character. And if you're doing a half-assed job, the whole thing can crumble. Everyone wants to have cool and epic main characters, but because of this, we can be blinded by this coolness, and it becomes really easy to mess up the creation of our main characters. It's a long topic, so next time I will be back with more details on how to create and build up main characters, both in their personalities and in appearances. If you have questions, be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what kind of tutorials would you like to see from me in the future. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like, favorite, or even share it to let it reach everyone who could be interested in it. And don't forget, you can support my works by getting Volume 1 of Saigami or subscribing to Saturday AM, a bi-weekly digital manga anthology with the hottest shonen webcomics from all around the world. Thank you for watching, and until next time, bye.